The passage of the 2020 budget was sequel to the consideration of the report of the House Committee on Appropriation and Project Monitoring on the 2021 Appropriation Bill and Budget Estimate presented by its chairman, who is also the Deputy Whip, Ephraim Alowu, said the House, during consideration of the budget estimates at the Committee of a Whole, approved an increase from an earlier proposed sum of 153.4 billion naira to 164 billion naira, with recurrent expenditure of 98.3 billion naira and capital expenditure of 55.6 billion naira. Giving a progress report at the Committee of a Whole, Speaker Marcus Onobun directed the Clerk of the House, Alhaji Yahya Omogbai, to give the 2021 approved budget estimate its third reading. The Speaker, while wishing Edo people a Merry Christmas, urged for compliance of the various COVID-19 protocols.
We are experiencing the second wave of this pandemic, which is even more deadly than the first one so many of us experienced. I'm using this opportunity to call on everyone to try as much as possible to maintain every health protocols.
A former Speaker of the House, Francis Okie, and other members said the 2021 budget, christened Making Edo Great Again, is expected to address the challenges of unemployment, youth empowerment, and continued development of all ongoing infrastructure across the state.
To the end of the parliamentary year, at least for 2020, it has been ups and downs. There has been a lot of milestones, but we thank God we've arrived safely.
We can't stop talking about COVID, if we want to talk about the budget. We don't want to title it as a COVID budget, but you know what we are experiencing right now, and that's also affected all the indices.
They promised to Edo people that the budget will be passed during the calendar year, following the presentation by Mr. Governor. And I'm happy today that we kept our word.
It's a budget that has been planned to ensuring that the state gets the best, irrespective of any situation that we find ourselves.
Edo State Governor Mr. Godwin Obaseki on 10th November 2020 presented for consideration and passage the 2021 Appropriation Bill to the House for consideration and passage. Kingsley Uchebu reporting.
President Muhammadu Buhari has surged the inauguration of the Ikpobaha Integrated Gas Facility with over 200,000 metric tons of commercial gas, and ancillary products will meet 20% of Nigeria's domestic gas demand and create hundreds of jobs. President Buhari made the remark yesterday in a message sent to the inauguration of the Integrated Handling Plants and LPG Processing and Dispensing Facility in Olugbo, Ikpobaha local government area built by the Nigerian National Petroleum Development Company. Bastin Bere has details.
The visual inauguration of the Integrated Gas Handling Facility followed the ceremonial cutting of the tape performed on behalf of President Muhammadu Buhari by the Minister of State Petroleum Resources and alternate Chairman, Board of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, Chief Timiprie Siva. President Buhari said it is part of scaling up and utilizing the nation's abundant gas resources for transportation, household use, and international markets. He commended the Nigerian Petroleum Development Company, a subsidiary of NNPC, for completing the project aimed at bringing prosperity and comfort to Nigerians.
I commend the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation for completing this project, which is surely supportive of this administration's drive to bring prosperity and comfort to the Nigerian people. On the commencement of the commercial production, I formally commissioned the Oredo Integrated Gas Handling Facility, liquefied petroleum gas processing and dispensing plants, and I hereby direct the Honorable Minister of Petroleum Resources to cut the tape on my behalf.
Of Nigeria, with the glory of God.
Minister of State Petroleum Resources Chief Timipriye Silva said the completion of the mega project ushers in delivery on gas infrastructure as one of the leading gas producers. He commended the NNPC and its affiliates for providing leadership for long-term gas production, which will boost capacity in the oil and gas value chain and increase domestic gas utilization.
The accomplishment of this project, with capacity to process up to 200 million scf of gas, highlights the commitment of the NNPC in eliminating gas flare while increasing Nigeria's value realization from gas.
In a remark, the Group Managing Director, NNPC, Malam Melik Kyari, said the project is anchored on the growth of the gas sector, which is one of the cardinal objectives of President Buhari's administration. He said the project, designed with highest local content manpower, attests to the capability of Nigerians to handle such critical infrastructure.
This project was designed, constructed and delivered with the highest application of Nigerian content for the critical projects of this magnitude. Mr. President, I can assure you that this project will support the growth of small and medium-term enterprises in the host communities, and this will also create hundreds of direct and indirect jobs, not just within the host community, but in Nigeria at large.
The dignitaries proceeded on a tour of the facility, which many said meant international standard. Edo State Governor Mr. Godwin Obaseki, Speaker, Edo State House of Assembly, and the Enoge of Ologbo Dukedom, Jackson Owe Akenzua, attended the occasion. Best Mbiere reporting.
Edo State Governor Mr. Godwin Obaseki has reassured of his government's readiness to work with the Nigerian Petroleum Development Company, a subsidiary of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, to make Ologbo community in Ikpoba local government area a gas hub in the country. Governor Obaseki gave the assurance during an inauguration of the over 200,000 metric tons of the integrated gas handling facility in Ologbo. Government House correspondent Patience Osagiwa has details.
The Nigerian Petroleum Development Company, NPDC, is using its Ologbo-based integrated gas handling facility to accomplish its domestic gas supply obligation to the country and getting more value from gas molecules that could have been flared. In his remarks, Edo State Governor emphasized that history has been made in Edo State with the commencement of the domestic gas revolution, applauded President Muhammadu Buhari, Minister of State of Petroleum Resources, Timipriye Silva, and the Managing Director of NNPC for their foresight in establishing the gas handling facility in Edo State. He stressed that apart from the agricultural resources in Edo State, the state has the benefit of energy, particularly gas, to drive the economy, and expressed its administration's readiness to continue to partner with both local and international investors to ensure the state enjoy the benefits of the natural assets.
With NNPC now exploring for gas in Nigeria's largest onshore gas belt. The rest of the gas is in the swamp and deep offshore. But we are proud that the Oredo fields, the fields in Edo State, account for some of the largest onshore gas reserves in this country. And NNPC has thought it wise and proper to use that gas for our domestic economy.
Governor Obaseki informed the gathering that his government and the people of Ologbo have decided to embrace the Nigerian gas policy if it will stop further deforestation in the state. He used the opportunity to appreciate the management of NPDC for the job they have been doing in Oedo fields by connecting the government to the gas plants.
We have designated Ologbo as a special economic development zone. On our part, we are integrating our people in our development. We will work with you, we'll work with the federal government and all the security agencies to continue to ensure that there's peace in the land, because we know it, that without peace you cannot have development, and without peace you cannot attract investors. You should please review the GSA, the gas sales agreement, which we signed several years ago, such that the price of gas you are offering us reflects the reality of the market today.
The plant, which is designed to run for 25 years, has the associated gas from the separator overheads of the EPF 1 and 2 in Oedo Flow Station as it feed gas. Patience Osaugiwa reporting.
The Oba of Benin, His Royal Majesty Omonobanedo Uko Apolokpolo Ewaye II, has performed Ugewe rite amidst fanfare at the Palace Ground in Benin City. Adesowa Lato reports that the event, witnessed by an array of palace chiefs, paid him homage to the Oba.
Presentation of Ewe leaves, which signifies peace, good luck, prosperity, and bountiful harvest for families in Benin, royal household, and the state, to Obaewa II by Iogbe Palace Group in accordance with Benin tradition. The colorful event began with a demonstration of the dexterity of an old man dance by Chief John Osamete Adu, the Ayoba of Benin, who made the first sacred presentation to the Oba in line with the custom of the land. Some palace chiefs and guests comment on the significance of the Ugewere.
Ugewere is the Uge celebration which comes after the Igwe festival. This is the day on which the Ewere leaves go around town. The maidens, the young men and women, they go around the town presenting the leaves to households and so on.
Ewere came visiting the palace. When Obaewa saw her attitude towards the members of the palace, he fell in love with Ewere and eventually married her.
It's a beautiful experience, really. This is the first time. I've been here once last year, but this is the first time I'm staying this long to witness everything. I think it is really, and that is why Benin is known as the cradle of culture in the world.
The Royal Esihuan Group and other palace functionaries were on the ground to supply traditional renditions to attract ancestral blessings and protection to the royal household and Edo residents. Adesuwa Lato reporting.
Christians have been advised to cultivate the habit of showing gratitude to God irrespective of any circumstance they find themselves. The General Overseer, Believers Ministry Incorporated, Benin City, Reverend Samuel Osagai, gave the advice during the 2020 annual Christians Get-Together and Thanksgiving service organized by a legal luminary, Chief Kola Okeaya in SAN. William Siama reports that the Esama of Benin, Sir Chief Dr. Gabriel Osawawo Igbededio and his wife, Lady Cherry, were among the dignitaries who graced the event.
In a sermon, Reverend Samuel Osagai harped on the importance of appreciating God in the midst of travails and tribulations. The clergyman advised Christians to remain grateful to God to receive God's blessings.
Gratitude is powerful. When you make up your mind to be grateful to God, you are ready for a miracle. The Bible said, it may look sorrowful. He said, but it shall turn to joy. You learn to be grateful every time. Amen. When you learn to, whether things are good or things are bad, in everything, give thanks.
Reverend Osagai extolled the Summer of Benin, Sir Chief Dr. Gabriel Osaore Benedion, as a man of honor who should be celebrated in view of his contributions to the propagation of the gospel and the growth of the church. Reverend Osagai said despite God's abundant blessings to this Summer of Benin, Sir Chief Dr. Gabriel Osaore Benedion, he remains a humble man.
For him to come here to honor a friend, that's the height of humility. Please, if you have your hands from home, let's celebrate first. As I'm decided to honor our daddy here, may God raise up people that will honor you. Everything you love, may it not depart from you. I pray in the name of the Lord that in the remaining part of your life, you will live to serve the Lord. In the name of God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
As a mark of honor, Reverend Osagai asked the congregation to give the Isama of Benin a standing ovation. Also sang the favorite song of the Isama of Benin.
So give honor to whom honor is due. When you celebrate those that God have lifted, you have qualified yourself for lifting. Please, a standing ovation. Let's celebrate an icon of love. Put your hands together. Let's give God praise on the ground. Let's give God praise.
Sub-clergymen, who include Reverend Frank Ezele, offered thanks to God for his benevolence, protection, and sustenance in the outgoing year. He also offered prayers for abundant blessing.
Who deem it fit to be present to join our Father to show gratitude. In your ministry you will expand. Amen. Those things you found difficult to do before now, by the grace and power of the Almighty God, they will begin to manifest in the name of Jesus. Amen.
In an interview, the Isama of Benin, Sir Chief Dr. Gabriel Osaoregbenijo expressed satisfaction with the event and commended the organizer, Chief Kola Okeaine SAN, for sustaining the annual Christian program.
Wonderful sermon. Very impressed. I've been doing this as long as I know. Thank God for his life.
Initiator of the Christians Get-Together Thanksgiving Service, Chief Kola Okeaine SAN, said the 2020 edition is the 50th in the series and harped on the importance of showing gratitude to God.
To be very kind, 50th year, I said the 1970. It has been one of the nine. I'm now 84. All I need to show is gratitude. To thank God. I don't know. There's no hand that he has not given it to me. To God be the glory.
William Siama reporting.
The Academic Staff Union of Universities this morning called off a strike, ending a protracted industrial action that started since March 2020. ASU National President Biodun Ogunyemi made the announcement during a briefing of the union in Abuja. Details later. You're watching the World News here on Independent Television. Still to come, President Trump refuses assent to coronavirus aid bill. You can watch ITV News on Roku TV in the UK, America, Africa, and other parts of Europe. ITV is also visible on Smart TV, Amazon Fire TV, and Android TV. You can view us nationwide on StarTimes channel 130 and GoTV channel 107. Follow us on our Twitter handle at ITV Radio NG. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/ITV Radio NG. Find all of our top stories at itvradioNigeria.com. We live stream at itvradioNigeria.com/live. Like our Facebook page at facebook.com/ITV Radio NG. Download our app from your mobile Play Store. Stay tuned. Election into executive of ITV Radio Chapel of the NUJ Edo State Council held today. The election was monitored by Chairman of the NUJ State Council, Sir Roland Osakwe, and Secretary Titus Akigbe. The process commenced with remarks by the Chairman of the Electoral Committee, Mr. Pius Nsogo, and Chairman of the NUJ State Council addressing voters on best practices. Voting commenced at 9 a.m. with the General Manager, Independent Television, Senior Elder Ogbede Umose. Some members of management and staff casting their ballots for their preferred candidates. The establishment's security officers were on hand to ensure a peaceful exercise. Chairman NUJ Edo State Council, Sir Roland Osakwe, earlier met with management of ITV and radio to intimate them of their presence to conduct a free, fair and credible election. Positions contested for were Chairman, Vice Chairman, Secretary, Auditor, Treasurer, Financial Secretary and Assistant Secretary were unopposed. And now let's turn to the foreign scene, where U.S. President Donald Trump has urged Congress to amend a $900 billion coronavirus relief bill to more than triple its stimulus payments to Americans. In a video message posted on Twitter, Mr. Trump said the package is a disgrace and full of wasteful items. Aigboje Ihoria has details.
Without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid upon the table.
The $900 billion bill includes one of $600 payment to most Americans, but Mr. Trump said the figure should be $2,000. The president is built to leave office on January 20th, 2021, was expected to sign the legislation into law following its passage through Congress on Monday night. However, Tuesday night's message from the White House, Mr. Trump balked at spending in the bill on other countries, arguing that this money should go to struggling Americans.
I am asking Congress to amend this bill and increase the ridiculously low $600 to $2,000 or $4,000 for a couple. I'm also asking Congress to immediately get rid of the wasteful and unnecessary items from this legislation and to send me a suitable bill, or else the next administration will have to deliver a COVID relief package, and maybe that administration will be me, and we will get it done.
The bill contains $85.5 million for assistance to Cambodia, $134 million to Burma, $1.3 billion for Egypt and the Egyptian military, which is for purchase of Russian military equipment, $25 million for democracy and gender programs in Pakistan, amongst others. The president questioned why the Kennedy Center, a performing arts complex in Washington, D.C., was set to receive $40 million when it is not open, and more than $1 billion has been allocated to museums and galleries in the capital. Aigboje Ihoria reporting.
A gunman has shot dead 3 police officers who were called to a domestic incident in central France. The officers were trying to help a woman who had fled to the roof of a house in the small village of Saint-Just this morning. The gunman shot at the officers and set fire to the house, while the 4th officer was wounded in the incident as the woman was reportedly rescued. The 48-year-old suspect is said to be known to authorities on child custody issues. The mayor of Saint-Just, Francois Chouchard, told newsmen that the house had burned down and officers were trying to determine whether the suspect was still inside or had escaped. Elite tactical police officers and firefighters are still at the scene of the incident in the village. The Clermont-Ferrand prosecutor's office said one officer was initially shot dead and another wounded shortly after midnight, and then 2 more police officers were killed as they arrived at the scene. Israel is to hold its 4th elections in 2 years after the 2 main parties in its unity government failed to meet a deadline in a row over state budgets. Voters will return to the polls in March next year, just 12 months after the last round. Aigboje Ihoria reports that 2 previous elections were inconclusive, resulting in a rare government of national unity.
Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, on trial for alleged corruption, is hoping to return to office for the 6th time after denying the criminal charges against him, dismissing them as politically motivated. At midnight on Tuesday, Israel's parliament was automatically dissolved as required by law after a deadline to pass the 2020 state budget expired. An 11th-hour attempt to avoid this failed after a bill to allow more time was voted down against expectations. As before the midnight deadline expired, Mr. Netanyahu, leader of the right-wing Likud party, and his political rival, Benny Gantz of the centrist Blue and White, blamed each other for the crisis.
We don't want elections and we're therefore willing to vote today in the Knesset against elections. But if elections are forced on us, we shall win.
Mr. Gantz said Mr. Netanyahu wanted to trigger the election in a bid to avoid his corruption trial. The two men have shared power since April in an uneasy coalition, agreeing to rotate as Prime Minister, with Mr. Netanyahu holding office first before a scheduled handover for Mr. Gantz in November 2021. Boji Horia reporting.
U.S. President Donald Trump has issued pardons to 15 people, including 2 figures convicted of lying to the FBI during an inquiry into the U.S. president's campaign. Ex-campaign aide George Papadopoulos and attorney Alex Van Zwan are among those who received the presidential clemency. Mr. Trump also pardoned 4 security guards involved in the 2007 massacre in Iraq and 2 ex-congressmen. He is expected to issue more pardons before leaving office next month. It is common for outgoing presidents to use their rights to issue pardons, which wipe out convictions. George Papadopoulos and Alex Van Zwan both served brief jail sentences. Papadopoulos pleaded guilty in 2017 to lying to the FBI about the timing of meetings with alleged go-betweens Russia during the run-up to the 2016 election. He was the first former Trump aide to be arrested in the Russia investigation led by Special Counsel Robert Mueller. The COVID-19 pandemic has reached all 7 continents of the world as 58 people have tested positive to the coronavirus infection in Antarctica. The Chilean authorities announced that 58 people at the 2 military bases in Antarctica and on a Navy ship that had gone to the continent tested positive for the virus. On Monday this week, Chile's army announced that 36 people at the General Bernardo Higgins Requiem Antarctic base had tested positive, as 26 members were from the military and 10 civilian are employees of maintenance contract company. Reports say none so far had shown complications. Rail, air and sea services between the UK and France are resuming today after the French government had agreed to ease its travel ban over COVID fears. French citizens, British nationals living in France and Hollis are among those now.
France and UK reached an agreement. More than 50 other countries, including Italy, India, and Pakistan, are continuing to block travelers from the UK. Foreign governments acted after the UK introduced strict tier for stay-at-home restriction across large parts of southern and eastern England in response to a new variant of coronavirus. Under the agreements between the UK and France, those traveling for urgent reasons, including hodlers, French and British citizens with French residency, will be allowed into France. However, in order to travel, they will need to have received a negative test result less than 72 hours before departure. Netherlands also announced that it will allow UK arrivals again as long as they have recent negative results. However, the decisions may come too late for some French and Dutch nationals living in the UK to secure tests in time to get home for Christmas. Deborah Ubefun reporting.
Let's take sports now. Lionel Messi has scored his 644th goal for Barcelona during his side's victory over Real Valladolid to break Pele's record of the most goals for one club. Argentina forward Messi scored Barca's third when he collected Pedri's back heel, took a touch, then slotted the ball past goalkeeper Jordi Masip. Messi created the first goal when his cross was headed by Clement Langlet and started the move for the second, finished off by Martin Braithwaite. Messi also hit the post in injury time. Brazil great Pelé scored 643 goals in 19 seasons for Santos in his homeland between 1956 and 1974. Messi, who scored his first goal for Barca in 2005 and has gone on to win 10 La Liga titles and 4 Champions Leagues, is out of contracts at the end of season and able to talk to other clubs from January. That's a full circle on the world news here on ITV. Thank you for watching. I'm Uyi Agumofregbe. Enjoy the rest of your day. Our coverage here continues. Good afternoon.
Independent television, certainly the best.
Christmas don't come on! I can't be tired of celebrating Jesus.
Why should you? Is it tired of blessing you, protecting and defending you?
Oh, I don't know, say you know.
I know wella.
Celebrate, Jesus, celebrate.
That reminds me, you hear say ITV Radio they organize party to celebrate Baba Jesus?
No be Christmas Igbadun. I don't hear. In fact, I don't start to practice the steps where I won't give Baba Jesus that day.
You sure say your steps go beat my own?
No worry, we go meet